Hello everyone, Jack Delahy here, founder of collegeconsulting.us. We have one mission at collegeconsulting.us, and that is to help the country's highest performing high school students actually truly reach their full collegiate potential, so they and their parents don't end up senior year with what I'm seeing more and more these days, which is high school seniors and their parents saying, why didn't we get in anywhere? If only we had known the rules to the game. We ensure all high performing high school students who join our program reach their full potential. And today what I want to do is actually give you a deep dive into what happens the day students and parents join our program. Oftentimes families ask, okay, once we join your all-inclusive 4-year college confidence program, what happens next? And while I can describe it, and our director of customer success, Nerra, can describe it, really, I find there's no better way than to show you. So what I'm going to do here is actually split in a second, and you're going to get to see a family's very first meeting with our director of customer success, Nerra. After that first meeting, she then assigns a one-on-one, private, all-inclusive, unlimited college coach to the family to then take them through with their first 9 one-on-one Zoom calls. And yes, then beyond 9. But in the onboarding stage, we have 9 very clear, specific setup calls for families to get acquainted with the program. In this first call that you're about to see, this is the onboarding. This is where Nerra is going to go step by step through our detailed, organized 3-tiered college confidence curriculum, college confidence community, and coaching support, and how that all works, and ensure the family is set up for success. As you'll see at the end, then she assigns them their private one-on-one college coach. By the way, just so everyone is aware, we don't accept every college coach in our program, far from it. To date, we accept about 1.6% of college coaches who apply to be college coaches with us, and that typically makes up just about 20% of the value of our program. What do I mean by that? Well, year after year, we've been doing this now for 15 years, we actually send a survey to our customers, and we say between the college confidence roadmap, the framework, the curriculum, and then the college coaching, which is unlimited, what's the value ratio? We send this to our customers after they've gone through our program, graduated from our program, and ideally received dream school admission. Year after year now, the value ratio continues to come back from our self-reported customers that about 80% of the value of our program is in our proprietary curriculum that teaches students how to stand out from the pack, how to complete high leverage activities, and when to do so. And yes, a very important 20% is in the unlimited college coaching. I bring this up because you're going to see in a second, Nerra will talk about college coaching, and I think it's important just to have that context. Our coaching is the cherry on top of the sundae, and a really good cherry at that, but our coaching does not serve as the foundation. This is a little different than how other programs run, and by the way, it's my opinion, I think that is why year over year over year, now over 4,700 students we've helped reach Dream School acceptance. It is because we have a curriculum, a foundation that the coaching sits on top of. So that's enough from me. Enjoy this introductory call with Nerra and a new family.
Hello. Hi. Can you both hear me all right?
Yeah.
Hey, great. Welcome. My name is Nerra. I am our Director of Customer Success. This is formally day 1 with our program, and I've gone through a few of the onboarding steps already, but this is our first kind of, let's jump right in. We'll talk exactly about how our program works and kind of get started with next steps. So I always like to start, just introduce yourselves, tell me as much or as little as you want about yourself. I've reviewed your call with Richard, so of course I know a good extent about you all, but it's always nice to just hear a little bit from the families.
Well, I'm Danielle. I'm her mom. What do I want to tell you? I mean, mostly that's what I am as a mom. I don't know. I'm really excited about this. You may have heard that, I stumbled across Jack and a lot of his videos and blogs and stuff, and I was following him. So I just thought I was a teacher before I became kind of a stay-at-home mom with the kids. And before that, I was sort of like this, I was an economics major and a little bit more into business, but I have this passion for education and learning. And I was lucky enough to have 2 kids that are pretty committed to it also. So I just thought everything he said, just kind of about the program, his philosophy, his approach, you guys just seem fantastic. So she's really excited, but I'm kind of excited too, to just sort of learn just kind of like learn and soak it all in, because it's pretty fascinating how much things have changed since I was in school. I kind of like can't even get my head around it, but it's kind of where we're at. I should say I have Talia and I have a son who is 1 year older than her, or he's a junior. So I'm kind of in that like, crazy mom driving, life is busy mode, but I love it. So
Okay, nice. I want to say towards, you being lucky to have kids who also are passionate about education. I think it's a little more than just luck. I think they got that love from you, as much as you may not realize it. I'm mom all the time. I can never pinpoint just one specific moment of why I am the way that I am, but everything or a lot of who I am is because of what I've seen her do. So I want to just give you your, your, your flowers there. All right,
Thank you.
Talia, go ahead, take it away.
Okay, I'm Talia. I'm a sophomore. Um,
There's
I
so
don't
much
know.
to say.
I love soccer. I love sports. I love being active. Like being outside is like my favorite place to be. Like doesn't really matter what I'm doing. But I also love school. I love like kind of just like impressing myself with like what I can do. I like baking. I kind of like found my passion for baking, like with my allergy, which I know you heard about. Um, I don't really know what to say. I love my family. I'm very passionate about like making time for them. I feel like is a very big thing. Also with my friends, I feel like I've like struggled a little bit with friends in the past, but right now everything is pretty good, and I feel like everything in my life right now is like kind of coming together.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's great.
Okay, that's great to hear. I like that you added that bit of, everything coming together at the end. I know you've had a rocky just few years with, allergies. I know you had an injury, so I'm happy to hear that you feel for yourself that you're in a really good place. So we want to keep that going. I saw your comment that you're really excited about this journey. And so we're really excited to have you, really excited to, get you started in this process. So unless you all have any pressing questions before we jump in, I'll go ahead and share my screen and get started. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this should look very familiar to you all at this point. I'm sure you've seen this a few times now, or at least very least with the call with your Richard, or your call with Richard. And or was it Zach? Did you meet with Zach? Right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. But when you're with Zach, so pretty much we're going to be anchoring to the 3 tiers of our program. I'll talk you through the steps. We'll discuss tier 1 first, jump to tier 3, and then kind of come back down to the coaching piece. All right. So starting off with the curriculum, how does the word Kajabi sound when I say it to you? Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So if you logged in already at this point, this is what our curriculum posting looks like in Kajabi. That's the site that we use. If anything looks unfamiliar, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to, just stop me, let me know. So you'll see kind of in the main page here, once you've logged in, the check marks on the right-hand side will show you if the section's been completed. And then if you are in progress, it'll have this kind of loading bar. So you can kind of get a good view for yourself. You'll click in on the sections. Let's just jump into this one. And so you'll see the specific lessons in each section. You'll click on it, watch the video that's associated. This is a much younger Jack when he first started recording his videos. One quick thing, I'll lower this volume here. Once you play, you can speed it up as well if you would like to move a little bit quicker through some of the videos. You'll kind of start to get a feel as you kind of just look at the title of it, if it's more of just an introductory lesson or if it's one that you want to, keep it at the one-time pace, really listen to everything. But it's really up to, your feeling on if you want to speed it up or slow it down. We just ask, choose a speed that you're actually going to maintain the information.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
I think so. I'll speak for myself, but I kind of know it to be true for her too. I think we're just very much like rule followers, want to do the right thing, never want to be in trouble. And it's a lot to take in. Like, I mean, I'm sure everybody feels a little like, ooh, like it's just, getting your head around it. But in terms of in the beginning, and then on that contract, it was a lot of like not falling behind, making sure that things are done to a certain level. Like just I guess at the beginning, until you sort of like find your groove and get comfortable with it, is there just support and making sure you're moving through things the way you should be moving through them? Or is that like really on her to figure out from day one? Like,
No, you absolutely have support. I'll reference back here briefly. So when it says unlimited here, we truly mean unlimited. So at the end of the session, to give you a quick look ahead, we'll pre-book essentially your first 9 sessions with your coach. So you already have them in the calendar, those are set sessions, and typically they're monthly, but the first 4 are weekly. So especially as you're getting started, you'll be meeting weekly with your coach, then it'll transition to monthly. And that's to make sure in the early stages, you have a minimum, that weekly touch point, make sure, okay, you understand how everything's going, you're acquainted with the systems, and you don't feel like, okay, I heard from my coach and then it's 3 weeks and I'm,
right.
first time.
You get like that momentum of like,
yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, so those are just the pre-booked required meetings. I'll talk you through kind of our chat system that we use. And if you need to have a meeting, you don't have to message and request it. Look at your coach's calendar. I'll provide that link at the end of the meeting. And if you need to have a meeting, typically we ask at least 24 hours notice, which is pretty standard, right? There's not necessarily emergencies when it comes to coaching in this sense. So just that 24 hours, but as long as there's availability on that calendar, you can absolutely book. You just put a little description on what you're booking for, if it requires a meeting, or if you just have some questions, you just post them in our chat. We have a 24-hour response time for our family. So we will, other than the weekends, we'll get back to you within the next business day. All right, so back to the curriculum. Once you watch the video, the most important place is the download section here, where it's going to have the specific assignments. I know Talia, you've already sent the college tracker, so that's kind of familiar to you. I know that you've kind of gone through and seen a little bit of that. So just make sure you click through. Everything that's in the downloads is going to be explained in the video if it's something that you have to do. So there should never be something that's here that you're not sure what it is. And if you ever are, I'll just, open one very quickly here. There's full directions for everything. This one's a little bit shorter. Let's do this one. So this one, right, there's specific instructions for every document. It's not just going to be here's the assignment and do it. There will be instructions. Okay, so that is our curriculum. Another quick thing. So this says complete here because I've already, gone through this video. This is what it'll look like when you start a new video. It should auto-populate as complete once you get to about the end of the video. Just make sure you mark it as complete once you're done, because in the contract of staying behind, this is how we track if a student is on pace or behind. And so we do a monthly report, check to see that you've completed the sections. So just make sure that this is marked as complete so that, in the system, you've done something, but you just didn't click a simple button. But that's no issue, right? If we mark you as behind pace, you say, hey, actually, I did do this. That's all right. We'll just edit it. It's not like the system said that you're behind pace, so that's your official warning kind of thing. We understand tech, mishaps happen. So you don't need to worry in that sense of, I know you said you're a rule follower. That can feel a little stressful. Just always reach out to me if that's the case. That's kind of my full-time role as director of customer success, is to make sure that you're having a positive experience. And if there are any kind of mishaps, I'll be able to handle that. Okay.
Can I ask you one more question?
Of course.
So she is a completely motivated kid who does everything. Like she likes to manage, like her life. And I feel like for a long time, especially because she was out of school a lot with that injury, she's got a lot of like medical doctor stuff. So I've kind of like, and I'm interested in it. I care. I love school, like I said, but she's at this point in life where I feel like she definitely wants to take greater ownership of just kind of like be on her own to do this. And I'm kind of like willing to do that. I kind of want to give her the space to fly and do that. I'm just wondering if you think knowing what you know about this, like from the should I be more like a gradual release with this because it's a lot, or do you think it's fine that if she wants to just sort of dive in and have me here, like she'll come to me if she needs something, and otherwise just kind of like keep my hands out of it? Do you have a thought on that?
That is a great question, and that actually gets to one of the things I was going to talk about next.
Oh, okay.
I'll absolutely answer that. So, in addition to the curriculum, so Danielle, you're going to have full access to this as well. You can see the entire curriculum, all of the videos, the full length of the lessons. But you don't really need to watch all of this, right? You're not applying to college. You don't need to necessarily know exactly the same things that Talia needs to know. But it's still important for you to understand what she's doing on a regular basis, right? Where she is in the curriculum. And so that is where Skool comes into play. So this is the second of 3 total sites you'll be using as a family.
I belong to this because I did even before I joined. So I get the daily vlogs and stuff like.
So
Okay.
that's our free community where we post all the vlogs, all those things. In our family community, our members community, this is where only members of our program have access to. And so, for example, welcoming you all, it's like our own little Facebook kind of community, welcome posts. We'll post any kind of successes. Sometimes we'll have students will post, hey, I tried this study method and it was really great. And I manage these all the time. So you're not posting and it's going nowhere. I see everything that happens. If you're even asking questions, if you want to connect with students who have gone to universities that you're interested in, I saw potentially interested in Vanderbilt, you can just do a quick search. Okay, let's see, right? Vanderbilt, and see, okay, we have some students who are accepted to Vanderbilt. There's also information about Vanderbilt specifically. So that's what this community is like. But more than that, we also have our classroom. So there's a little bit of redundancy, I will say. Full of the curriculum is here. It's also here in case you want to just take a look at it. But Talia, this is where we want you to stay. In Kajabi, this is where all the progress happens. But
so I don't per se need to be there. I know there was like a tab or something, but I could kind of hang out in the school just to sort of have a general sense.
Absolutely. In Skool, you can take a look at the full roadmap, but most importantly, there's the parent version right here for you. So this is a much shorter video than our 45-minute video that I just showed you. This is a brief overview of what the section is that Talia is doing in the moment. We'll ask that you watch this video and at the end submit this parent accountability form. So it is student driven, right? We want our students to take ownership of the process, but parents play a really important role, and it's important for them to know what's going on and at very least have an understanding. That's where this comes into play. At the end of the section, takes 30 seconds to a minute. You fill in your contact info. Yes, at least one parent or guardian has watched the overview video. And at the end here, there's a box for any questions or general comments. You can absolutely ask of your coach any point in time. These specifically come to me. If there's no comment, you'll just get okay, great, kind of a standard response. But if there's a comment, I do respond to all of them. And so you can, rest assured that if you do just have a pressing question that maybe you want to ask, maybe you don't want Talia to see a question. Sometimes it happens, right? Parents have certain information they want to share with us. That will absolutely come to our leadership team and we will answer the question or comment.
Okay. I have to give you guys props. I just told Alex this morning that I read somewhere, and I guess it was here, because he has a ton of studying to do this weekend about the 50-minute chunks and the 10-minute break. And I was like, oh, that's what I just told him. That's fun. So thank you.
Of course. So you can kind of starting off. So I will mention the first 2 coach meetings. A parent is also required to attend the first 2, just to make sure we're acquainted. But after that, you can join if you'd like. Absolutely, let Talia join by herself. We also send a recording of every meeting if you want to see, hey, I just want to know what they talked about. Or I also, all of our coaches will post notes after the meeting each day. So you can get just a general view of, okay, these are the general things they talked about. If I want to look a little deeper, I can always look at the recording if I would like to. All right. So that is Skool. The last thing in our calendar, I host bi-weekly.
Can you go back to Skool one more second?
Sure. I just left room.
Oh, and it's in the College Consulting US. That's where I want to be, right?
Yeah. So in the members.
Yeah, cut off. That's why. Okay. I see it now. Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, it's a little bit cut off, but it's
No, it's just the picture that you're in was covering a little bit of it, so it's okay. I got
oh,
it.
sorry about that. Okay.
No, it's not. It ends there.
Okay. So that is Skool. And then last I was mentioning here, our office hours are hosted. You'll get the calendar of it, but we also send email reminders for families when office hours are coming up, things like that.
Another question about that. Go ahead.
Is that the thing that I
Mhm.
joined?
Mhm.
My voice hurts.
So that was cool. School, that was mainly, our community where parent accountability lives as well. So last, we will jump to the coaching. So I'll backtrack a little bit slightly when it comes to the curriculum. So Talia, I know you shared those 2 documents with me on Google Drive. That's great. Sometimes there will also be like PDFs that you can't necessarily share, but you want to submit the assignment to your coach. And that is going to be in Twist. So this is the third and final site that shows Kajabi for curriculum, Skool for the community, and Twist for communications. So this here, have you seen this before? Does this look familiar?
Yeah, I'm logged on to Twist, but on mine there's no, like I don't have anything on there, it says. Like it
Okay.
says there's no messages or anything.
Okay, so we'll check on this. You should have these folders available. So if not, we may need to, just do some behind the scenes editing on that. But this is where you'll be able to post, message your coach, all of these things, ask questions. This is our main method of communication because it really just keeps everything in one area. So then you don't have to dig through emails or create a new email thread or find, notes and everything. All of this is kind of the hub where you can find everything. So we'll post our monthly progress reports here. This is also where the Google Drive folder lives, where you'll see some information. We don't have a progress report yet, of course, because you haven't been here for a month yet. Well, also, this is where you can post your homework assignments. So for example, there's going to be something called a My Majors worksheet that you'll fill out. Once you do that, you can just paste the link in here. You can share it for Google. Either way works. It's just a nice kind of succinct area where you can put that submission. As long as your coach gets access to whatever it is that your assignment is, that's the most important thing. Essay review, this will start once we get into end of junior year, that summer before senior year. Don't worry too much about this, but for your college applications, and then college counseling specifically, this is where your notes will be posted post meetings. So you'll get a quick summary of the conversation, some action items that were discussed during the meeting, and they'll be posted here after each session.
So on Twist, where is like this page that you're on?
So once you are just on here, you should be able to have access to this. So it looks like you're in here. I'm going to, let me see. You should see this. Let's see. Because yeah, so you can kind of see a full list here. You'll have essentially a channel and just be yourself. And if you want to check maybe inbox, it might be there. But that's where it should live for you.
We'll show her so she can see.
All right, I can stop share if you want to pull up and share screen.
Oh,
She found
okay, I found it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
So that's Swiss. So just reiterate 3 services or softwares we use: Kajabi for the curriculum, Skool for our community, and Twist for direct communication with your coach. Does everything make sense?
Mm.
Okay, awesome. So now that is pretty much the extent of everything. The last thing I have to do now, or I will do, is I'll let you know who your coach is, and then we'll pre-book those first 9 meetings together live. So a little bit of anticipation, maybe, maybe not, but I will actually be your coach. And so I take on a very small caseload of students. Right, my full-time role is not coaching; it is being our director of customer success. But I like to stay connected with the students. It's a great way to, one, make sure that all of our systems are working. There's no better way than to work with the students directly. But also, I just love working with students and connecting with families. So when I think a student's profile best matches my experience, I will assign them to myself. So hopefully you're happy with that decision, but I'll be your coach moving forward. This is just a brief background and bio about me, give you a little bit more information. So I attended Duke as an undergrad student. I was a psychology major, but I initially went in as a pre-med student. So that was my path throughout all of college. And then interestingly enough, I went to medical school after graduating from undergrad. Clearly, this is not med school. I'm not interested in Dr. Nerra. So we had a little bit of a career change here, but really just realized that students were my love and my passion. Wanted to work with them full time. I still love science. I love medicine. I'm a science nerd, love staying up to date, but it just was my heart wasn't in the work of it. So that's something I love sharing with families. And actually, I'm graduating in just about 6 weeks from here with a master's in higher education leadership from Harvard. So I know those are some big names, right? They sound great. I wish I away from that.
Slacker, huh?
Yeah, just casually. But Talia, I know you mentioned you always like impressing yourself. And so, in 2.5 years from now, you're going to be getting into one of these schools that you see listed here or some other options. So you'll be impressed. Whatever the end result is in, 2.5 years, you're going to be impressed and you're going to be happy with this process. So that is me. I'm really, really excited to be working with you all. And so what we'll do now is pre-book those meetings. So you have something on your calendar. They're not set in stone. We can always reschedule if that's the case, but we just want to have them on the calendar so we know we have something. We know we have a meeting upcoming. All right.
I have this master calendar because she travels so much for soccer. Or one of us. Can I just grab it real quickly?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll grab it. You can see.
Also, while she's running there, I had one question.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys say there's like college confidence, and that's what like you want to end up with like 10 out of 10. But what like is college confidence? Is that like how like confident you're going like with the college process, or like
Yeah,
what is
that's a
that
great
number?
question. So our college confidence score is essentially how confident are you in the college admissions process and understanding how to get to college and what that is. So our families come in at a starting college confidence score, essentially a college admissions confidence score. At the end, we want everyone to be at a 10 out of 10. Now, what that doesn't mean is, yeah, I'm going to get into every single school I apply to, and I absolutely know that. But what it is I know what this process is like. I know what things I can do to best improve my candidacy, give myself the best chance of getting into the colleges that I want to go to, and I know the best ways to stand out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so
All
you got the calendar ready?
right.
Okay. So the first few sessions, so I mentioned the first 4 are going to be weekly, and then we'll just put in a monthly and book those out moving forward. Okay. So let's see here. So we're at today's the 12th. So I'm going to be out next weekend. Funny enough, so Tuesday is actually my 2-year wedding anniversary, so I will not be having any meetings in these few days. And I know that's Easter, so if you celebrate, right, we don't want meetings on Easter weekend. We want our families to enjoy us. To just give you a quick little information. We get that you have lives, you have all these other responsibilities. If there's ever a meeting and you're like, oh, I have this, a really important meet or a game, or even I have a friend's birthday party that I really want to go to. That's all right. We want you to go to a friend's birthday party. We don't want you to sacrifice, 30 minutes to have a meeting and not enjoy that part of your life. Just let us know, right? We just ask you, don't say, hey, I'm on the way to my friend's party. I can't come to our meeting anymore. But you say a few days before, hey, Nerra, I need to reschedule our meeting. I have some other plans that came up. Absolutely. You gave me advance notice. That's all we asked for. Okay. So don't feel bad to ever reschedule. And then if emergencies ever come up, that's of course, special circumstance. It's an emergency. In the same way, if I ever have any plans or I need to reschedule, I'll absolutely give you more than ample notice if we need to move a meeting. So we really like to have that positive relationship with our families and know that we're all people at the end of the day. This is, it's a very people-based service, and just having that comprehensive or shared understanding makes it a positive experience for everyone involved. All right, so you let me know what days you want to start with based on your availability.
Well, you're off next week, so that might be kind of good if you want to do either later on Tuesday or Wednesday. We leave Friday, so we're not here Friday, Saturday. So you want to pick 4 in a row, you said, right?
So we'll do 4, yeah, so 4
Okay.
weeks, and then we'll just do like a monthly.
I would pick Tuesday or Wednesday for next week.
This week?
Yeah, this coming week. This coming week, we're here.
Later.
No, we're here.
Oh, we're
Tuesday
doing
or
next week?
Wednesday. Yeah, the coming week. Or do you not want her to do Tuesday or Wednesday? Is that too soon?
No, that's all right. It's just based on how much you can get through in the curriculum. Don't feel like you have to be rushed. The first section, so days 1 to 7, they're pretty simple. You've already done all of these things, so we'll kind of just talk a little bit more in depth about these. You've already shared that with me, so that's a great, starting meeting. We'll kind of just talk about, okay, moving forward, next step. So I know that you've done this already, so I think Tuesday is perfectly fine, Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right, that's it. I hope that peek behind the curtain of the collegeconsulting.us team and the support we provide was helpful. If you did enjoy that video, do you mind liking and subscribing? That will allow the algorithm to give you the next video that I release. And by the way, feel free to put your feedback in the comments below, positive, neutral, negative. I will read every one of them, and it'll allow me to tailor this YouTube channel to exactly what you, likely the parents of high schoolers, are looking for. By the way, if after watching that video you say, I want to have a call with Nerra, I agree, she's amazing, but there is a first step. Feel free to book an entirely free college planning strategy session. You'll bring at least your high schooler and potentially parent number 2 onto the call. We'll learn all about you and see if it's a fit to potentially progress to a call like that where you're actually inside our program. By the way, if you're not ready to book a college planning strategy session, no worries. There's another link for our entirely free, 100% free college confidence community. You can feel free to join at any time. All right, that's it. Until next time, cheers.